K1. This week we're talking about texture, the way something feels or looks like it feels. Remember, we have texture on our hand. It feels a little bit rough, and our shoes sometimes feel bumpy. We are going to be drawing a landscape and showing the foreground or the front of your picture. Voila. The middle ground, right in this area, and the background. We're going to be adding texture to all of these parts. You're going to start by just drawing a really simple landscape. It doesn't matter what direction your paper is. I'm going to turn my paper this direction just because it's easier for you to see. I might start with some really tall grass in the front. You can do this with any kind of marker. I have a marker, in fact, that doesn't work very well, but we're going to use it today. So I just drew the grass. That is my foreground or the front of my picture. I'm now going to add in some hills. Maybe I'll have a tree coming off this hill with lots of leaves. And I'm going quickly. I would love it if you take a little bit more time on your drawing. I just want to make sure you spend most of your time on your artwork. And in the very background, maybe I want some spiky, tall, jagged mountains. Okay, so this is the front or the foreground. The middle has those hills with a tree on it, and the background has those spiky mountains. Once you have finished your drawing, it is going to be time to go on a texture hunt. You're going to go around your house and look for things that have texture. So I went and I looked through my daughter's kitchen. I found lots of things with texture on it. I also found some fabric that I'm going to experiment with. So there's lots of stuff in your house. You get to be in charge of exploring your house. So then you're going to go ahead and find some crayons if you have some in your house. Maybe your sister or brother will have added exciting things to your crayon box. Okay, I'm going to take green because I know my grass is green, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my object that I'm going to use for texture, and I'm going to hide it under my paper, and I'm going to gently press down with my crayon, going back and forth over top of it. And I can move my paper as much as I need to get that texture. And I'm going to keep filling in the grass with texture all the way across my page. Sorry about the shaking camera. You may need to use a little muscle when pressing down to make sure you get all of that texture. So if you wanted to switch texture in the middle, you could. Just make sure you're staying inside your grass area with that color green or whatever color you've chosen for your grass. So we know that that is grass. There's going to be a lot going on. Texture tends to add a lot of very stimulating. It's very stimulating for your eye. It makes a lot happen for your eye. So sometimes pictures get overwhelming when there's a lot of texture. So I am almost done that grass. And then I'm going to go ahead and switch my texture. And I'm going to switch my color. I would like my hill to be a darker green. You can make your hill any color you want. I'm going to switch to some of these kind of blocks right underneath my hill. I'm going to have to move it a lot. It looks a little bit similar to my other texture in that it has dots, but it's not the same. But because this block is so tiny, I need to just keep moving my paper and filling up that hill. I'm going to continue working on this for a few minutes. Okay, I have finished my grass now. I'm going to go ahead and work on that tree bark. I'm using a pretend potato chip. You could go outside and actually get some real tree bark and make your tree if you choose to use a tree. You can use rocks. You can use anything, guys. Inside, outside, it is your drawing. And there is texture almost everywhere. I'm going to try some pretend spaghetti for the top of my tree. And we use a different color for that. Oh, this is interesting. It's working. It's just hard to see because it is such a light color. It's making lots of lines, kind of like the spaghetti. So you're going to fill that in. Some of the texture might work better than others, and that is okay. This is all about you finding different textures around your house. For my mountains, I'm going to make them a darker blue. I could make them gray or a brown. And I was thinking I would like to use this pretend hamburger for it. So I'm going to go ahead and start doing my coloring. Remembering I'm hiding that underneath and then coloring over the top. This project is pretty quick, guys, once you get working and you have your texture. Sometimes finding the texture is the hardest part. You're going to go ahead and continue coloring. Okay, I'm going to now finish up my drawing with the texture in my sky. Make sure that you're using different colors for each part. Otherwise, we are not going to be able to tell the difference between the parts of your picture. So my background is these spiky mountains with some blue sky behind it. That's the very back of my picture. And I'm going to continue going ahead and adding that texture in. Okay, guys, I have finished adding texture to my drawing. The last thing I might do is go back in so I can really see the difference between my texture. I might go back in and add a marker that works a little bit better. If you have a good marker, you shouldn't have to do this. If you don't, then you can also go over it with a black crayon. Just something that we can see the difference between the parts of your picture. I'm just going to do this side right here so that you all can get right to work. So again, my grass is in the foreground, the front of my picture. The tree is in the middle ground on this hill, and the spiky mountains and the sky are in the background. I hope you guys have fun creating your landscapes today. I look forward to seeing what you create.